Hey, on with the show.
Hey.
This is it. Hey, what are you doing? Are you surfing over there?
No, I gotta see where I have a radio show. It's called REALTOwn, and I'd like to see what I'm going to talk about today. For God's sakes!
Nothing like doing a little show prep beforehand.
Sorry, I'm busy. I was
What
busy.
could you possibly be busy with?
I'm making money. You know, money.
Oh.
You're making it too, so shut up.
Am I?
Oh wait, I gotta.
Are you sure? You
Wait,
do
hold
know
on.
where I work.
You
don't
messed
you?
up my. You messed up my thing. Hold on.
It's your thing. Do what you want to do. Hey,
I
it's
feel like
5
we're famous because
Why?
Facebook was like, we need to mute part of your show because
your music
is
copyrighted.
against the law.
It's
Warner
copyrighted,
Brothers.
and you went 31 and a half seconds when you
It's
can only go
against
30.
the law. Yeah, I know. And they only
Please.
muted it for like 5 seconds. Did
Yeah,
you
yeah,
see
yeah.
that? It's like our show. Then it's like, and it muted it when we weren't talking. So it kind of
Which
was
is nice.
fine.
It was
yeah.
anticlimactic.
Like it literally was like music. Then it was like blank, and we were just going like this. I was doing this, and you were just looking at me. And then it came back.
Hard cheese,
I was
Mark
like-
Zuckerberg. Hard freaking cheese.
At least they like blanked it in the perfect part. Like nothing was missed. It was
Right.
just, but I think it's hilarious. They're like, how do they find that stuff? I'm like, and the weird thing is that it was during there. We played 2 songs in that little break.
Yeah.
And it was just a small smidgen of the second song that they picked up on. I don't know how they do that, but
let them,
I think it's funny.
You know what it is? You've seen Good Morning Vietnam, right?
Yes.
With those 2 twins, Tweedledum and Tweedledummer, when they're the censors, that's what they got over at the Facebook.
The Facebook.
The Facebook. Yeah.
Do you know that it originally was called the Facebook?
I understand. That's why I said it. The Facebook.
Do you know who decided not to call it the Facebook anymore?
It's like, the Google. No, who did that?
It was the founder of Napster,
Oh.
who actually was part of the Facebook family in the very
Napster.
beginning.
Holy
So when Mark
2000, Batman.
Zuckerberg was fighting with the other people, when he was starting Facebook,
Right.
he called it the Facebook.
Right.
And then he went to dinner with the founder of Napster, and they had a little dinner and some wine and whatever, and then the founder, he leaves, and then before he leaves, he turns around and he goes, I got a tip for you. And Mark Zuckerberg says, what? He says, call it Facebook. He says, take away just call it Facebook. And that was his idea. And that's true too, because they did a fact checking after that film came out, and it actually is a true thing. So it wasn't,
Wow.
yeah. So it was, he's the one who decided to just call it Facebook.
I told you I had a boss up in Northeast PA 10 years ago. Larry Seraphin was his name, or Seraphin. I don't know how you spell it, but
One of
anyway.
those.
And so you figure I was in my mid 40s. Larry was probably in his early 60s at that point. Okay, he's an old dog, been around doing radio sales and management since Marconi was around. And then some of the guys a little younger than me, because I was on, I think, but I really wasn't into it. So a couple of the guys who were like in their 30s were goofing around, and he goes, "You guys with your My Face and your Spacebook, ay." I'm like, and he was serious. He's like, Larry, it's the other way around. Whatever. I don't do none of that media social thing with the My Face.
The My Face, the Facebook.
I got a buddy out in PA also who's like, we're looking at possibly not restoring per se, but his father has like a 32-year-old Mercedes that's just been sitting around, and it's not in bad shape, but it's been sitting around. So it's a little sketchy. And we were talking about, we ought to get into, like after my football season, find an old, beater and kind of, spruce it up a piece. He goes, what do you think we do this with Dad's Mercedes? You know what? Let me get on the Google. I'm going to access the Google. It's always the Google.
It's always the something.
My buddy Chris Shetler. Yo, Chris, what's up, pal?
It's kind of hot in here.
It's me.
It's a little bit.
No, I'm fine.
You don't have to. You fine? All right. I'm just saying you don't have to. All right.
Let her grind. They're gonna knock it down anyway. Woohoo!
All right. Okay. I mean, you don't have to. I was just saying it's a little bit stuffy.
Are you schwitzy?
No. Did you find it a little bit stuffy?
Oh, fumble! I dropped my bottle.
Do you
cap.
find it a little?
I'll get it later. It's a bit tepid. It's a bit tepid.
Do you find it a little bit stuffy?
Just a piece?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
A tad. Oh, I hear it. A tad stuffy. Thank you. Just a little bit stuffy. A little bit.
It gets during the day, Hey, you didn't put the air conditioning on, did you? No, Dad, I did not. Oh, it's awfully cold
This
in
is like
here.
such a weird time because it's like,
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
uh-oh.
We don't even know if we have AC over there.
Oh,
What?
snap.
Wait a
Oh,
minute.
snap.
Brand new building and hold on. Hit the mic, Gino.
I gotta tell you this.
Talk to us, Uncle Gene.
Guys can hear me.
Here we go.
They wouldn't put the air conditioner in until it gets real hot.
What?
How hot do they want it? Like 80,
Well, 70,
90?
80
It's
degrees.
so hot that the squirrels down at the park have
So
to put ice around their
we-
nuts.
Do not even know if we have air over there.
Okay, so my question is they control
Wait.
the air for the whole building?
Yeah, but here's the thing. They said, we asked the power company, they said, well, we have nothing to do with the air. I said, okay, well, we have electric. Why don't we have air? They have air everywhere else.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they just didn't put it in your building yet. I'm like,
They
okay.
just didn't put it in the building.
And then when you go outside the building and you see there's one compressor missing, that might be ours.
Oh.
What?
So
Wow.
even though we're in a new building,
What
that's
is wrong with these
the
people?
downside.
Like, what is wrong with these people? Like, who picked these
Holy
people to be
smokes.
owners of this or to run?
The
Is it
owner's
their-
right next door to us.
right. So do you
We
go
may
in
have
and
to have
go-
a
So
sentence
they
with
don't
this.
have air. We don't have air.
We may
and
have
by
to-
the way, the cleaning people took the key home, so there's no bathroom.
What?
I had to use that Berkshire Hathaway the other day over there when I was setting.
You got it like a bottle or something you can piss in.
I
can
got
do
the
it like
auto pal. You
I
know,
can
up at
cop
the
a
house.
squat. I
You
can
know.
cop a squat if you like. I mean, you
No.
guys, you can just stick it in like a
Easy.
Poland Springs or
Let's just keep a
something.
funnel there for you.
What are we gonna do?
Like
my
you mean
Lord.
like one of these?
Listen, it doesn't matter. I never pee in here anyway, so
We need the piss boy.
Neither is like a bucket of shit. No, you do look like the piss boy.
it's disgusting. I'm so mad. Oh, and
So-
okay, so let's get
wow.
no toilet and no air conditioning. Put that
But
together.
it's there. The
But
cleaning
yeah,
you
but
just
you
can't
can't
have-
use
key-
it.
The cleaning
Put
people
that
took
together.
The key home, and I don't know if anybody else has an extra key. I don't have an extra.
Where's it, out in the hall?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember we saw it in the hallway.
So get a knife and jimmy the damn thing open.
Oh,
Well,
busted
Yeah,
down.
please.
A la Bruce Lee, just like
5 minutes.
Misaki. Ha!
Dad calls me like 4 years ago when I'm living down in Lawrenceville, and he's up in East Brunswick.
Yeah, but
Hey,
you're
I got a
supposed to go to
problem.
a
What's the
brand new
problem, Dad? I can't get into the bathroom. I accidentally locked the door. Can you come up and help me? Okay. I get up and I'm looking at the thing. And I go out to the kitchen. Where you going? Give me a second.
butter knife.
I got myself a knife and just slid
Jimmied
it in
it.
there and poink, all done.
I don't
Don't
think-
do that again. Okay.
Locks are different now, though. Aren't the locks like different now? They don't. Look
It's
Yeah,
the same
I-
basic premise.
Well, it is, but it isn't because it's got the thing on the outside, so you still got to get out in. And
Yeah,
under.
because usually like the inset is different now. So before you could
Ay,
stick
ay,
it in and
ay.
pop. Now the inset is different, so you can't even stick it in.
That's what she said. That's what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
yeah. Stick it in. That is correct. That is.
I've been
correct.
watching a lot of The Office lately, so watch out. We got a lot of "That's what she said" coming.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ah,
So yeah. So no AC.
no air conditioning, so we may have a BO problem. No toilet, so we may have a El Stinko
Oh,
problem.
what else? And what else?
Oh, there's
More.
more.
There's more.
But wait, there's more.
Brand new windows.
Right?
LED screens.
Oh,
Wait, new windows with no screens?
So you can open the windows.
But it's like, but all the bugs will come in.
Right.
All the bugs.
So you can't open the windows. So go ahead. What else?
Go ahead. I got nothing to say. I'm speechless.
Go ahead.
so I guess what? You got to run over to Home Depot and get those sliding screens like Grandma used to have.
I mean, that's.
Or
The
you
only
put
option.
the fan in the window. You know, you put the fan in the window with
Which
the
still
double.
is screenless, yeah.
Or you close it and you can hold it in like that.
Only
like
one of the studios has windows.
That's right.
There you go.
So the inside studio
and that's
is
the one we're not going to build. That's the first one.
overture, kind of light. This is it.
I am
Aye.
speechless.
You sure you don't want to stay here?
I don't
now?
even know what to say.
We have air conditioning.
Listen, I have all these ideas
the
for
bathroom work.
guests. I want to put all these guests on, and I'm like, our new studio, but I'm going to tell them to bring like, what do you call those things that you have to keep in the freezer to keep cold? Like when you put on like sore muscles,
Yeah,
like you'd have
like
to
a
bring
gel pack.
Gel pack. bring a gel pack with you if you plan to come to our studio.
Or those things that we sell over at the Clown College with the you put around your neck, you put them in the water and it stays cool for like 2 hours.
Oh, that's pretty good too. Clown College, I
yeah,
like that.
thank you.
Yeah, we can have an ice, like, what do you call it, like a cooler, and we'll keep coolers in the station, and in the coolers we'll have like gel packs
Right.
and different kinds of, so when the person starts like you thinking they're gonna pass out
Right.
From dehydration, we
Kind
should
of like a
just
construction worker when it's like 2,000 degrees out.
yeah, so then you can cool them down.
Right.
And the water, we can't keep the water that cold. We'll have to
Well, you
like
gotta,
maybe get dry ice.
ooh.
That'll keep it cold for a really long time. But we'll have to wear gloves to get anything out because then our hands will stick to the dry ice. So
Yeah.
there's so many options. I'm so excited about it. I don't even
I can't tell you how
I don't know what
excited
to
this
do with
makes me.
myself.
So who's the mental
Dude.
midget makes these decisions? I have to
I don't know
ask.
what's to talk to him.
Well, that is a construction company that didn't want to put the screens in, and I guess the owner said, "Okay, don't." And of course,
Okay.
Can I just say
that's one
something
thing.
though? Isn't that like I think that's against the law. I don't know if it's no. I'm serious. I'm not making a joke.
Mayor owns the complex.
In New Jersey, I don't know. I have to think about it, but I know with homes, you
Say
can't not
homes.
have a screen. Like you have to have a screen. I think that's the law because when babies were falling out of the windows back in the day, remember that kept happening for a while. They changed the laws in the states that all windows must have a screen because what was happening is people were in poor neighborhoods
Right.
were opening the windows and babies were falling
Get
out
up
and
on the
dying.
ledge and out they go.
Yeah, so it became a law. So now I'm thinking.
And your head
They're
hurts.
actually may be breaking the law. Breaking the law. Breaking the law.
little
They
Jewish
might be
priest.
breaking. I'm going to look that up. I think that's a law in New Jersey, along with the wheelchair access. But that's a whole other thing. Let's talk about all the laws that
Yeah,
they're
let 'em
breaking.
slide up the steps on their butt. Whatever. It'll take them 10 minutes, but whatever.
Screens
That's horrible.
in
But no-
windows.
The lady was really pissed when I went over to the Berkshire Hathaway
yeah.
because I guess evidently everybody's going there because nobody has a
Well,
key.
okay, lady, here. You and your people get with the owner and lean on them hard about, air conditioning upstairs. It's that simple.
She's letting the workers in. Everybody.
What's she doing? Oh, wait a second. Didn't you have trouble opening the door or locking the door? Is that key? You're still having problems with that key?
Oh.
Kick the door.
Say it again?
You had to kick the door?
Lock it, yeah.
Wait.
Because
I
that's
need a
standard
moment.
operating procedure, kids.
I need a
OSHA.
moment.
OSHA compliance.
I know, and you have your card now. So
I do,
you
I
are-
am-
He's OSHA compliant now, so
I am.
actually,
I'm certified.
Yeah.
I am certified
Yep.
OSHA 10 training.
I wish that
compliant.
was there when I was there because I'd like to
Oh.
have that.
You must kick the door. We're gonna write on the sign. Kick the door to lock.
The door frame, not the glass.
Kick it, but doesn't it you pushed open or you?
Just gotta
pulled-
go like an extra inch
Inch.
in.
So whoever built
Wow.
a bunch of morons built that building apparently.
Holy crow.
This is a brand new building, people. Brand new.
Let's see.
We should go down to my basement. It's a lot more accessible.
Let me see. Oh, this is like 2012. But I
And
wanna
yes,
see.
and there's air conditioning.
And we're going into the summer months. I don't,
Yay, heat.
like this is just
he works good.
No, I don't need.
this
the
is
heat
so
to
wrong
work.
on so
Oh,
many
my
levels.
goodness. Wow. So.
Okay, here we go.
yeah.
New York City. That's
So
the
maybe
same
they'll
thing.
come and put the compressor in maybe by
Maybe they
June,
won't.
July,
What?
August.
Christmas.
No, summer
Fall.
months. They want to wait till it gets real hot.
Why? What's with the waiting? Do we know that?
All it has to do with, I could tell you, as a computer technician and a car technician years
Yes.
ago, that if you have gauges, it doesn't matter what the temperature is outside, the outside temperature, right?
Okay.
Because you're going by the gauges as they cycle off and on, right? It works the same way with compressors on a house, with the R22. It works the same way. But the ambient temperature does play a part on how cold you want it. You can have it medium cold, you can have it super cold, or you can have it not cold at all.
Well, and
And then they're going to come back and charge it again.
tell me if I'm wrong, but I
can
heard
always
this
charge.
years ago when I was a kid. My parents were having central air put into, it's 92 degrees out.
Right.
Okay. And
It's
Dad
the
had,
ambient temperature outside.
92.
Right,
It's
right.
it's humid. It's July. It's New Jersey. It's 92. Okay. And, mother and dad have that thing set at 72. And it's grinding on all day, and all day because it's not getting down to 72. Now, I can see a little validity into this, but after further review, the guy who put the first system in, he kind of goofed it up a bit, and he was saying, "Well, you can only get it down about 15 degrees from the outside ambient temperature, so that would put it at 77 degrees."
There is some truth to that, but however, it could still be air conditioning in there. They don't even have a compressor in there.
Well, that's not the problem over here. There's nothing. Zero.
And let me tell you, most of the compressors, as far as I can see, are small. So it's going to overwork them.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't want to spend the extra $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 for the compressors, so they work less harder, but they're willing to spend whatever it is for the compressors, so they work harder. Doesn't make any sense.
So they're going to replace them.
Yeah.
More often. It's like the guy goes by the big box for a gas grill. It's $159, Marge. Meanwhile, the grill specialist shop has a nice grill for $312.95. He's going to go through three of those $159ers before he even has to think about replacing that nice gas grill from the R.E. Smith Company in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, by the way. That's $315. That nice one, that Arcola from R.E. Smith Company, is going to last like 6, 7, 8 years. The other one, he's going to be done in 2. So we'll buy 3 of these things. Same philosophy. They're going to go through 4 sets of compressors, whereas and it's going to cost them, say, $15,000. Had they just spent the 10 initially, they'd have had those things for what? 10, 12, 15 years.
Yeah, but John, my point is, who's going to be inconvenienced? The people
in
that
the building.
Right.
Right here.
I don't get it. I don't know.
They don't care because they're not there all the damn time.
Right.
And guess what? Here's what's probably going to happen with again, Einstein over there, the mental midget owner guy, sits in his office, and all of a sudden about 10:40 in the morning, oof, getting a little hot. Whoop, gotta go, and then out the door they go.
I have a question. When's the last show this week? Like what day?
Friday night.
Friday night. So that only gives you like the weekend to move all this crap.
No, not really.
What do you mean?
Well, they're going to move some stuff Friday night, and I'm coming in Saturday with a team here about 1 o'clock, and we're going to move a lot of stuff.
I would have just taken a week off with the shows.
Can't.
Oh.
We can't. We need the money for over there. We can't.
All right.
I wanted to. That's why Christmas would have been perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
2 weeks. I mean, the snow and all.
But
there was none. There was.
Right.
It
would have been. It would have been perfect. Would have been perfect for us.
Yeah, because this is going to be a pain in the ass. I mean, looking around, I'm already, like, aggravated.
Now, you know what? I told Ruben, if a table is broke...
It's all Ruben?
No, I told Ruben, if a table is broke, something's broke, just throw it out there. We'll either do without it over there, or we'll get a new one. We don't need it right now. So it's less to take.
Things are moving, kids. Here's
what
the
happened
good
to those
news.
extra tables that are up there? Are they across already?
You took them already.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, here's the good news, kids. This thing is happening. Next time we talk to you, we'll be, knock on whatever wood-like product
We'll be
this
sweating
is.
our balls off.
You wish you were back here.
Oh,
yeah, we'll be
smokes.
sweating our balls off.
No bathroom.
Well, we'll come prepared.
Right? Bring a bucket.
Yeah, we'll
You
come
watch,
prepared. Bring a
you know what I
cooler.
still have? I have one of the hospital things, when you got to take a leak.
catheter?
No, not a catheter. The little bottle with the handle that you stand up and take a leak in.
I don't know what that is, but
The little urinal thing.
I don't. I've never.
I'm bringing it to
I don't know
next
what
week.
that
I'll
is.
bring it next week. You'll.
Emergency.
I don't.
Yes.
I don't.
Also known as the Auto Pal.
I
Take it
don't
on long
pee
trips,
on
and
that.
you don't have to stop.
We'll have to prepare.
Pee while you drive.
We'll have
Drive
to
while you
prepare
pee.
for that.
It's a today kind of thing.
There was nothing like interesting this week. I can't even think of anything that was interesting this week. Like there were so many interesting things last week. Like so many things going on. And this week, meh, not really. Anything?
Not to be Johnny Downer.
Oh God.
No.
okay.
But it's real.
Oh,
Okay?
no, I'm saying
And-
oh
and
God.
This
'cause
is
I don't
where
wanna-
we live in REALTOwn. I posted on Facebook on the Facebook yesterday evening. And forgive me, the guy's last name, and this is no joke, so please, the guy's last name is Slutman,
I wasn't making a
UTMIN,
joke.
and he was a New York City firefighter. He's also a U.S. Marine. He's also a volunteer fireman. Get this, he's an FDNY, lives in Maryland, is a Marine, was over in the Middle East, and he was part of that bombing where the three Marines died the other day.
Yes.
And there was a guy from Long Island who was with him, another Marine. Young guy, 25, and the third guy was from York, Pennsylvania. But this guy here, firefighter Slutman, they talked about him yesterday. 3 beautiful, gorgeous little girls, 10, 8, and 4. They're like little Xerox copies of him and his wife. Just a really, really, happy, attractive, positive-looking wife. And here now, he's not making it home. So, here again, whenever, I'm not going to dwell on that because it's sad, it's upsetting, and so forth. And it was also on the national news last night, not just out of New York City. So it's a thing. Plus, I even heard it this morning getting ready for work on WCBS News Radio 88 as part of the top of the hour national
Do you
news
get paid
broadcast.
to say that?
I'm sorry?
Do you get paid every time you say a radio station?
No, why would you say that?
I don't know, because you always say it like you're announcing it. You always say, yeah, last
News
night when I was...
Radio 80
Yeah.
WCBS.
You'd be like, yeah, when they used to do it on WNDC. And then you're like...
WNBC.
Yeah,
That's
you
because
always...
that's how it is.
But you always talk... I feel like you're plugging.
No,
I think I should pay you.
I'm referencing.
Somebody should pay you for that.
If they want to pay me, they pay me. I'm just saying this is where I heard it, that this true patriotic hero, God love him, and God love his family, his neighbors, his colleagues, his friends. He's no longer with us. Firefighter Slutman from the Bronx. He was stationed in the Bronx, and again, a volunteer fireman down in Maryland, where he lived. Go figure. Works in New York City, lives in Maryland.
It's a lot of traveling.
Well, I'm thinking he probably stays at the firehouse, the 5 days, however he's on, and then he goes home for his weekend, whether it's an actual weekend or like Tuesday and Wednesday.
I saw something about a guy who was the chief of police in I don't remember if it was Delaware or Maryland. I think it was Delaware, but he's the chief of police, and then he's the chief of police in a town in New York as well.
Oh my!
So he travels between the two towns, and the mayor of one of the towns was like, well, we can't have him be at both towns. But then all the people are rallying for him, saying that he can do both towns. But I found that very odd because his travel time, I think he says travel time was 3 hours.
I'd imagine.
Something like that. Yeah. And he's the chief of police in both towns. I think it was Pennsylvania. It was Pennsylvania and New York. That's what it was. But it was small towns. It wasn't like main cities.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, you still have a lot of these little hamlets, villages, and burgs, so to speak.
Right.
That, there's not a whole lot. I mean, every 25 years, we had a break in, and, we found out it was a possum. It's one of those deals.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of those towns up through Pennsylvania.
Well, there's
and
not
even
a lot of stuff
even in
going
upstate New York as well.
Right.
So, let the guy do his thing to me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention firefighter Slutman from the Bronx. I don't recall the house number, but matters not. If you're so inclined, or if you know somebody who's either a Marine, a volunteer fireman, or a fireman, who gets paid for being on the job, Google. Do a search for firefighter Slutman, Slutman. Just one of the good guys, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know him, but you know what? You get a feel about things, and that's the feel I have.
Did he
about
pass
him.
away while fighting a fire? Or?
No, it was he was overseas.
Oh, he was overseas
as a Marine. As a Marine, it was a bombing.
I didn't know if he had been.
Bombing,
yeah.
Like an IED. Over,
there were 3 of them, right? Wasn't there 3? Okay, now I remember the story.
Him, the kid from Long Island.
I remember
and the
the story
from York, Pennsylvania.
That's right.
Yeah.
I do remember reading that.
So, last night as I'm seeing this story, it just, I for whatever reason, I will wear it on my sleeve, and it bothered me. It bothered me.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a lot that bothers me.
There
really is.
Is that right?
There's a lot that bothers me.
Stop it.
I never used to be like that. I used to like, you know what's weird as you get older? Like you start caring more about things
Right.
that you didn't care about before. Like I really didn't give a crap about like what happened to other people, whatever. You know, like you get to a point where everything pisses you off.
Oh,
like
hello.
everything.
Thank you.
Everything.
Thank you.
Everything.
Now you kind of are getting a little idea of why I'm always so aggravated with the incendiary, the little bullshit that happens from time to time.
Well, you're
Enough.
just you're a curmudgeon. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, you know what it is? Like, are you vocal?
lovable
Are you
curmudgeon.
vocal about it? Like, I mean, that's the main thing. Are you vocal about your? I mean, I honestly,
Yes.
I get aggravated. I'm just like, well, people are dumb.
like
you know
what-
what? It's the general
Like with
public.
bing bong and cling clang and ding dong all over the yard. Hey, on the street. I don't want you running around, tripping, falling, and hurting yourself potentially on the lawn. And there they are again. And there they are again. Hey, yo, I told you. Psst, off. Go.
Wait, is that
now.
really, is that really happening to you? Or are you
Yes.
Just, oh, okay.
Yes.
I was like, is
It
that a
does.
movie set? What are you talking about?
No, I'm serious. I'm like, you know, these Brunswick.
You yell at people? You yell at people to get off your
Yes.
lawn?
Get
Oh, you really are. Curmudgeon.
Hell yeah!
I
You
don't do
know,
that.
I am East Brunswick's Walt Kowalski, and I'm proud to be.
I'll tell you something that annoyed me. And this is so, I don't know why. I got really annoyed by it. So I was coming back from, I think, Target or something like that. Who knows? So I'm coming back and I looked. So we have these big dumpsters in front of our development, these like big dumpsters. And a lot of times people put things in front of the dumpsters that they don't want, and people will take them.
Right.
And we actually have a truck that comes through once a week and picks up stuff, gives it to the vets, you know, and then some people rummage through, you know, it happens. So I see sofas and mattresses and tables and lamps and all kinds of stupid stuff, you know. So I come up, this is Saturday in the day, I think it was Saturday afternoon. And I was coming back. Oh, no. I was coming back from dance class. That's what it was. So I'm coming back. So I noticed next to the dumpster, there are books. I took a picture, actually. There are books. And I'm not talking like one book or two books. I'm talking 3 boxes of books.
Oh,
and I
gee.
mean tons and tons and tons of books. And I'm looking at the books, and I'm thinking to myself,
Self.
who throws away books? Who throws away books? And I get it. It's 2019. You know, the young people, they read stuff on their iPads, they on their laptops. They don't like read books anymore, blah 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 blah. But I'm like, they're books. Like, you throw a book in the I found it like sacrilegious almost. I was
Right.
like offended. I was offended by it. I was like, you couldn't get off your fat ass and
Bring 'em by the
donate them?
library. Bring them to the library.
Or bring them to like a senior home.
Or that.
Seniors love to read. I mean, or donate them to some. There's all these different donations you can do for books. Your big fat ass, I don't know who it is, but I'm assuming your big fat ass dumped all these books next to the dumpster, right? So I'm thinking,
She said ass dump.
oh my God, I was so mad. So I'm thinking, how do I get rid of these? Because I wasn't able to get them all out. I didn't have a car, obviously. So I'm like, I gotta do something. I gotta do something.
What have you done?
So I took pictures and I put it on the Facebook Marketplace, which is the Facebook Marketplace is where they like sell things. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to put it up here and I'm going to let people know, hey, there's all these books. They're curbside. They're not mine, meaning I didn't dump them because I don't want people yelling at me. And I'm like, come and get them or donate them or whatever you want to do. Get them out of here. So sure enough, these people are like emailing me. How could they do this to the books? This is terrible. This is horrible. And I had one woman, she's like, well, you got to go donate them. You got to go donate them. I'm like, listen, I didn't dump the books. Don't start like unloading on me,
Yeah, hello.
mother effer. Like, I'm the one if I didn't put them up for you to see, you wouldn't even know they were there. So shut the F up.
See?
Like, really?
See what I mean?
Like, no, but people start attacking me.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to do something good. And obviously, if I could bring them myself, I would have brought them myself,
I'm just trying to
douchebag.
keep my lawn nice, and these chinks are on here running around being like jerk-offs. Holy crap.
That was so politically
Same
incorrect.
thing.
But anyway, so I'm
Hey.
like, what? So she's like, she goes, I'm a book lover, and I'm immobile, and I can't get them myself. Oh, I'm immobile too. I can't get them either. I put them up so somebody can come get it. I was so angry. I'm like, these are not my books. I did not dump them. It clearly says in the post, these aren't mine. I put it in capitals.
Yeah.
I didn't put them there. But I'm letting people know, hey, there's all these books. Come and get them so they're not put in the dumpster. I'm trying to save books here.
It's a book rescue.
Jeez Louise. So I go on my rant on Facebook, ready to beat the crap
Another
out
rant.
of somebody.
Her rants get raves, you know.
I was getting angry.
You?
And then
Stop it.
the next day, all the books are gone.
All
All of
the
them.
books are gone,
So I don't know
the
if
books are
people
gone,
came and
the
got them.
sky is gray.
And I was trying to check on my ring, but I didn't see anybody
Boing.
take them. They just kind of disappeared. They're gone. So I hope somebody came and got them. But I was getting angry. Let me tell you about these books. Who throws out books? I just think it's weird to throw out
That's
books.
a little nutty. I mean, I'm gonna have a lot of at some point here a lot of books to deal with up at the old homestead in East Brunswick.
Right.
But I already have an idea of again getting a hold of the library. Or, getting a hold of the folks at church and say, hey, listen, do we know of any groups, organizations, what have you, that could use these? I mean, from, Leon Uris's QB7 to, like, Mother had this 12 or 14 thin, like a 8 by 11 size volume of, like, a medical encyclopedia from, like, the late 1950s. Okay, whatever. I mean, there's all kinds of things, paperbacks, hardbacks, large, small, whatever. There's all sorts of books that I'm never going to be interested in. I'm never going to read, but there they are, And it's funny you mention that because I stare at them. I see them every night. They're right in front of me. Mm-hmm. And that's, you've given me some good ideas.
Yeah, they have like a lot. You can Google book donations near me, and they'll come up with all the different book donations. And like I said, hospitals, another thing.
Right.
I actually, when I relocated from Boston, I had a yard sale and sold all my books, the ones I didn't want, for $1. And here's the weird thing. I was a big avid reader. I still read, but I was an avid reader. And I realized I had hundreds of books. And particularly paperbacks. Mm-hmm. And like I had a bookshelf and it was like John Saul, James Patterson,
Sure.
Stephen King, Dean Koontz, like all these, authors that I read. And then like when I had to move, I was looking at the bookshelf and I was thinking, well, I've read all these.
Right.
They're paperback. I've read them all. Why do I even have them? Like I'm like presenting them like, look at me. I'm so well read. Ooh. Like people come to my house, I go, do you see on my bookshelf? I read these. Like really, like I don't get the point of it. I'm like, it doesn't really make much sense to keep the books. It really doesn't, because if you've read them, why do you like people do that? And I was thinking, like I started thinking about it. Unless it's like a really like rare hardcover or it's autographed or it's like a book that has like meaning. But when people have shelves of books, all these books, right?
What are they doing with them?
What are you doing with them? You're just displaying them to let people know that you're intelligent.
Now, see,
and
the other
not
thing
illiterate.
I could do, this is a nice little happy bonus. When we're unloading the house and selling it and everything, out the back, there's a bank about 75 yards goes down the water. I could just throw them down the bank.
No, don't do that.
I could.
No, but don't.
Why?
Throw the books in the bank?
It's paper. It goes back to the earth from whence it came.
No. Are you trying to piss me off?
No, I'm just saying it's like natural paper. It'll go right back to the
No,
the
it
earth.
won't.
Sure, certainly it will. There's leaves and crap and weeds and junk that I throw down there.
Are you trying to irritate me?
No, I'm just saying. It's like always put a litter bag in your car. Okay?
So when your car gets stuck in the snow or the ice,
No. When
there.
it gets full, you just roll the window down, toss it right out. Done.
He is trying to be funny. He is trying to be funny. I get it.
Now that's an old Steve Martin one.
Anyway.
Remember that one?
Anyway, I'm just saying.
I could though.
Why do you even have books? And you just
no, exactly. If you're done with them, what are you going to do with them?
Yeah, what are you going to do with them?
Give them to the library.
And that's so I sold all of my paperbacks. I sold them all. The only ones I kept were, like I said, I had a couple hardcovers that meant something. I have a couple autographed books from people I had met, and I kept those and anything with any kind of meaning. But everything else, I just got rid of all those books because I read them all.
Well, what are you going to do?
What am I do with them?
Yeah.
Makes no sense. But to just throw them in a dumpster, what the hell is wrong with you?
No, you put them down the bank.
Are you high?
Put them right down the bank.
All right, that's over. We're done with that joke.
Right down.
We're done with that joke.
It goes right down. If it goes, it's paper. It comes from wood. It goes right back amongst the trees.
I want to mention, this is a New Jersey native.
She's ignoring me.
Yeah, I kind of passed that now. because you were talking about the firemen in the Bronx.
Right.
This is a gentleman. He is in the service. His name was Derek Nelson, 44 years old, from Westfield, New Jersey. He donated his bone marrow
Oh,
to a 14-year-old boy who lived in France.
He's a school principal too.
Yeah. He's a school principal. He's also a member of the military, as you can see.
Is that him?
That is him. He donated his bone marrow to a 14-year-old boy in France that he never met.
Right.
Never met him, didn't know him, and he died because of the procedure. He had complications from the procedure and died.
Did it back in February, and he's been like in a comatose state.
He was in a coma,
for like
correct.
2 months.
Yeah.
Something went a little sideways, and the procedure, I guess, was okay. The marrow was harvested.
Correct.
But the result for his person was not good. And
he was a father of a 6-year-old girl.
Yeah. The whole school, I heard
never
that
got to
this
enjoy
morning.
his good deed, they said, which just breaks my heart.
And the whole school, they said he was the best guy ever.
Yep, he was an officer in the Army Reserve. Yep, that is a hero.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you something. I don't know many people who would go through a procedure, and if you know anything about bone marrow transplant, it's extremely painful.
Right.
It's a very painful procedure, and from what I understand, he was telling his friends and family that he felt if he went through pain, it didn't matter because it was worth it.
Oh, hello.
He gave his life for this kid who he never met. And I'll tell you something. My hat's off to this man. I'm telling you, it's heartbreaking that he lost his life that way. But hopefully this 14-year-old will live a long, full life. And, hopefully we'll honor him for what he did for saving his life.
You wonder if he knows the story at all.
Oh, he must. I mean, he must know. I mean, usually when you get a transplant, they want to know who their donor is, and sometimes they'll connect with their donor later on, and stuff like that. But he's from New Jersey, and like I said, I think we should honor this man for doing a deed such as that. Because I can tell you, with all honesty, I don't know if that's something I would do, for someone I had never met.
I got to tell you, you want to know who, now I don't know if they are anymore, but for the longest time, you want to know who's on the donor list for stuff like that was my Jamie.
Yeah.
When I first met her back 25, 26 years ago, we got talking of, how you do when you first meet somebody and you get to know them. And she's, oh, yeah, I'm on the marrow donor, list, the nationwide or the
not for after she dies, like while she's alive.
Like right now.
Yeah. So if someone called her right now and said, I need your bone marrow, she would give her bone marrow.
That's how it goes.
Wow.
That's how it goes,
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Again, I don't know if she's still on it, but I know that she was for the longest time. I don't know that she's not, but I said, isn't that really like an intricate and fairly painful procedure? She said, yeah, but previously having worked for the American Red Cross, she said, this is something that, I think is worthwhile. And it's not like they're going to be knocking on my door every 5 minutes. It's matches are extremely few and very far in between to come by. But she said, if I could be one, well then, let's go.
That's
basically.
Pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive because
I thought so too.
It is a painful procedure, and to give, I think just to give to someone you've never met. I mean, that is the most thoughtful thing you can do for anyone.
I agree.
I can't even imagine how upsetting that is for his family. Because he died doing a very good deed. But it is the same as if you're in the military and you're giving for your country and you die giving to your country. Here's a man who was a school principal. He was in the Army.
But when they loved him at the school,
they loved him at that school. He was a very good principal.
Very great guy. He was all about the students. He was it was also all about the staff and the teachers and everybody. He was that guy.
Yeah.
He was the guy whenever you were in school, if you had a favorite teacher or a principal or a guidance counselor, he was all of them wrapped into one.
Right.
And I heard, matter of fact, I'm going to do it again on Q104.3. This morning I heard the news with on the Jim Kerr Morning Show with Shelley Sunstein's News, brought to you by Duncan. America runs on Duncan, by the way. But no, in complete seriousness, Shelley was on there this morning talking about that, and I thought much the same thing.
Yeah.
What
Heartbroken.
What a guy.
Yep, that's a hero. That's a
what-
hero.
Please.
That is a hero.
Don't even get me started. I
Yep.
mean, well, he should have. No, he shouldn't have anything. This guy is all of that and a whole truckload of chips. I mean, he's off to the next big adventure, so he's fine. We'll see, and maybe hopefully meet him one day when we get there, however that works. I don't know.
In heaven.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, I believe that, and I know we've had that discussion, and I'm not trying to light that discussion back up, but I firmly believe that this guy, he's...
Frank's not here, so we don't have to talk about it. He was
that.
the one who brought it up, remember?
I remember.
Yeah.
But this guy, this Derek Nelson, this Principal Nelson from Westfield, he's on to the next big adventure, and he's loving it all. He's got to be loving every second of it. So, and the young lad over in France, good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Have a very long, prosperous, successful life, son. Seriously, that's big.
There's a movie called 7 Pounds. Have you ever heard or seen that movie?
I have not.
So it stars Will Smith. Came out a while ago, but you made me think about. That's what made me think about it. It is. I think it's a great film. It's one of my favorite Will Smith's films, though it's very underrated. People don't really talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But in the movie, it's about a man who wasn't paying attention. He went out with his wife. They went out, to a dinner date. He drank some wine or whatever. So he gets into a car accident and he kills 6 people.
Oh. Yo.
And he kills 6 people, kills himself 7. He kills 7 people. So he kills 7 or 6, but I don't want to. But he killed, including his wife. His wife is one of the people he kills. So he lives, but he ended up running his car into a van of kids. So the kids died, and so through the whole movie,
Whoa.
it's him. He tries to redeem himself, but you don't really know. I mean, giving you the ending now, but you don't know what he's doing until the end of the movie, which is what I love this film. I cried so freaking hard. I mean, snots and all. I was crying so hard when I saw this film. But what's amazing about this film is, and I saw it blindly. I didn't know what it was about.
Right.
Someone said, "Oh, it's called 7 Pounds." I said, "What the hell does that mean?" Well, 7 pounds is how much a heart weighs. Is 7 pounds.
Whoa.
So that's why it's called 7 pounds. But it was 7 pounds and he killed 7 people.
Oh.
So the whole movie, you're like, what is this guy doing? It's shot in a way that you really have no idea what the hell he's doing. And you only see flashbacks of the car accident. You just see flashbacks of it. And then you'll see certain little things, and you'll see him talking to his wife who's dying, and you'll see the kids flying in a van, and you're like, what the freak is going on?
Yo.
And it's crazy because throughout the film, he goes through different procedures and does different things. And one of the things it shows him doing is giving bone marrow. And you're like, what's he doing? Why is he doing this? He gives bone marrow to a kid. So what he does is he tries to do something good for 7 people and 7 families. He tries to do something good to make up for everybody that he killed. He has one woman, she's poor and she's like in Section 8 with her kids and she's starving. So he gives her a whole bunch of money and puts her in a home on a beach and like all these different things he does. And it is the most amazing thing. I'm going to tell the ending because the ending is like, sorry.
No, it's all right.
Still watch the film. It doesn't matter. Still watch.
Here,
but the ending is important.
Let me just interrupt for a second. Yes, okay, I'm a little curmudgeonly on one hand. On the other hand, however, again, until or unless you give me a reason not to, my heart is big, and I I put it on my sleeve, and things like this.
Oh, you have to watch this movie.
I have to say, whether it's a story on the news or a movie, a story. Period. Again, the older I get, the more it really speaks to me. Go ahead.
So what he does is he makes a will and testament. So what he does is he falls in love with this woman, and the woman has heart issues, and they've given her a certain amount of time to live. Oh. So what he does is, and so he meets her, and then he meets a guy who's blind. And so he's meeting all these people with all these problems. So in the final act of the film, he kills himself. And the way he kills himself, in a way, it's like in a cryogenic way, so that his organs are maintained.
Right.
And he has in his will that this girl that he fell in love with will get his heart.
Wow.
I'm going to cry thinking about it. And his eyes go to the man he meant who's blind.
Yo.
And so it's, oh my God, I'm going to cry. But it's so sad. I'm going to cry. You have to see this movie.
got
But
you,
anyway,
man.
I'm so emotional.
No, but you know,
It is
it's-
extremely
again,
well done film, and it surprises me that it didn't get as much praise as I think it should, because it was an amazing film. It came out like 10 years ago.
I was going
It's
to
an
say
older film,
you
yeah.
mentioned it, and I do
Yeah.
kind of remember seeing trailers or promos for it.
Yeah.
You know, several years ago.
I mean, everybody talks about his other film, which came out actually around the same time. The one where he was the father with the
Pursuit of
son, Pursuit of
Happiness,
Happiness. That
yes.
came out in the same time. And the Pursuit of Happiness got a lot more attention than
Right.
7 Pounds did. But 7 Pounds, holy crap. I mean, I'm crying now because I don't think I ever cried that hard in a movie. I was like, I needed recovery time. It was so bad.
Well,
but
I
that's
hear
what
you.
it made me think about.
Well,
because
and
it's,
not for nothing. I mean,
you know.
again, stories, created stories,
Right.
or somewhat based upon things that have happened, along with real stuff, real events like this Derek Nelson from Westfield, New Jersey.
Yes.
Again, the older I get, the more on one aspect of my life, I'm no nonsense, no bullshit, knock it off. Because, you know, earlier on, oh, don't worry about it. He'll be okay with that. John's a good guy. Yes, I am a good guy, but you know what? Don't walk on me. Okay, whether it's, you know,
Don't F me over.
no, whether it's an old friend who all of a sudden turns weird and just nasty on me, or the dopey people from 2 doors down after the 18th time. Please don't do that on my stuff, where I have to get a little nasty. Okay, that's one side. No nonsense, no BS. Stop it. The other side of it here, again, not to be redundant, but it does bear repeating. And think of this, you know, in your own lives, you know, how real this can be with things that matter and speak to you. I see stuff like Derek Nelson from Westfield, New Jersey, and like you with this movie recap, you know, 24 hours ago, they're telling that story on the news out of New York City on Channel 7.
Right.
Here, I'm going to do it again. Channel 7 Eyewitness News at 6.
I knew you were going to do that.
Okay. But it's true, okay? And I'm seeing this thing, and I literally had to get up off the sofa, out of the TV room, go out to the kitchen so, you know, I could just get a moment by myself where no one's going to see and or hear me, because it upset me. You should see this, you know, these people. I'm going back to the story about the firefighter. Just a gorgeous family of 5 people.
Right.
Him, his wife, and his 3 girls. Absolutely just right out of the, you look up, you know, family in the dictionary, there it is, right there. And now, poof, he's done. He's gone. It just, that stuff speaks to me. That kind of thing with Derek Nelson out of Westfield, that speaks to me.
Yes.
That kind of story, whether it's, again, created out of the clear blue sky or based upon, and I have to think that in some way, shape, manner, or form, consciously or not, 7 Pounds, that story could very well have been based upon stuff that, you know, whoever wrote it had seen, knew of, experienced, or whatnot. Because that's a deep pile of information to have to conglomerate, put together, and then put it to a story. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. And even just hearing it, the more you're saying it,
Yeah.
the more I'm remembering.
I want you to watch
promo.
it. I think you'll
Yeah.
cry. You'll
Oh,
cry.
Please, hello.
I know you will. I'm serious. I'm going to find out where it's streaming, if I can find something, because I don't know. What do you have at home? What's your provider? What do you
Xfinity.
Xfinity?
Yeah.
We'll see if I can find it on demand and let you know.
I got the Xfinity.
The
Thank you,
Xfinity,
Dave.
because you don't have streaming at your house. You just have cable, regular cable.
Correct.
Right. I'll find.
I know
it
that
for you.
there's on demand, so if it's
Yeah.
something I can look
I'll
for,
find it for
I
you.
can
I'll
look
find
for
it
it
for you.
too.
I wanted to talk about Justin Gazzillo. I'm going to actually ask him to be on the show.
Justin Gazzillo.
Justin Gazzillo. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Justin Gazzillo. I
Tell
think
me
he's
about Justin
he's
G.
14 years old.
What
He's
up,
a young
G?
boy, 14 years old. So I, as you know, teach dance to children. I've been teaching dance now 12 years.
Yeah.
I love it. But, you know, as a dancer, choreographer, teacher, you know a lot about certain things and who you love. And I love Fosse. I love his style. It's, you know, no one's compared to Fosse. Exactly. No one choreographs like Fosse. Never will. I mean, he's the one that came up with a lot of those that's all Fosse. You know, all those movements that he did were all, you know, came from his head, and people copy him all the time.
Dun, 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 dun.
As a matter of
And all that
fact,
jazz.
what's crazy is that What's crazy is that that Michael Jackson wanted Fosse to direct Thriller
that
originally before John Landis. Yeah, isn't that funny? Because of the choreography that he loved from Fosse. But anyways, there is a miniseries on FX called Fosse Verdon.
Yes.
And it's about Bob Fosse and
Yep.
his second wife. And so it's actually pretty good, but I wanted to watch it because I like watching the dancing. I don't really care about the drama itself, but I like watching the dancing. So there is a young actor in that show who plays young Fosse,
Oh.
and he is from Robbinsville, New Jersey,
Ta-da!
and actually goes to Pond Middle School right down the street.
Wow.
Yeah, so
He's still in middle school.
yeah, he's in middle school. He's a little
Wow.
babe.
Dude.
He's a little babe.
Justin,
He goes to
what's up, my little
Pond. Yeah,
brother?
and it's crazy. He's a dancer, young kid, and he's. I'm looking at his IMDb page now, but yeah, he plays young Bob Fosse, and I just found this out because I know a lot about my town. I'm always following my Robbinsville town. My
Word.
peeps, what up, Robbinsville? Hey, and yeah, so I'm kind of excited about it. So I am gonna reach out to his mom and see if we can get him on our show because I would love to talk to him. This is his first film. I think it's his first film. Yeah, this is his first film.
Let me interrupt 1 second.
yeah.
Back to 7 pounds. Our good friend Doug Lapp from over yonder says
Dougie.
that 7 pounds is on Netflix.
Yes.
We got the Netflix.
We
out
got the
in,
Netflix.
out in Pennsylvania, don't you know?
Yeah, go.
So
Then when you go to Pennsylvania, definitely watch 7
I
Pounds.
may have to.
Put it on your watch list. Thank you, Doug Lapp.
Thank you, Doug Lapp, my man.
Doug Lapp. I miss him. You know, I saw Doug Lapp. I saw him on a train. I was going to Comic-Con.
Right?
And I go by myself to these things. You know that. I go to like Walker Stock or Comic-Con. I always go by myself. But I was like on the train and he was there with his son.
Oh.
And I was like, that looks like Doug Lapp.
Dougie
So
Fresh.
I was like, we rode the train together and we hung out a little bit at Comic-Con. We separated because, he had to do his own thing. I
Of
did my own
course.
thing. And then I met up with Dennis Clark.
Oh, my.
At Comic-Con.
Yeah.
But yeah, I rode
another
the train
former
with,
colleague,
and
Tracy's.
it's pretty interesting. Doug Lapp would be a good guest. You want to know why? Because Doug has a past life. You know anything about Doug's past life?
I got to say, I
Pre-global.
don't. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you,
He
Dougie
says
Fresh.
He says you're welcome.
Pre-global.
Yeah.
He worked in the movie business in New York City.
In
the film business.
Put me in the movies.
Okay.
Good deal.
Yeah. Did you know that about him?
I had no earthly clue.
And he worked on like science fiction films. I think he did a little bit of something for Star Wars. Or
What kind of
he
fiction?
did
Science.
Science.
Thank
But he's someone who's very interesting. I mean, that's one thing I'd love to talk to him about his past life because you know what fascinates me is
Maybe we can sit in the waiting room one night, or we can wait in the sitting room.
that too. But you know what fascinates me is that when you meet people and you look at what they've done before, like in their past life.
Right.
And I think me and Doug used to talk about it when we were in resale together. I used to say I never thought I'd end up working in an industrial place selling industrial products because I worked in the music business.
Right.
And I did films and I did a lot of acting and singing and stuff. And I had big dreams of making it big. Spent time in New York City, did my TV shows and all commercials. And I'm thinking I'm going to be a big star. And he said, you know what? When I was younger, I thought the same thing. I was
Right.
working in the movie industry in New York, and I was working with some of the biggest films. And I was
Wow.
like, I'm gonna be a big movie maker.
I had no
and there we
idea.
were sitting at the Global, going, "What the hell happened?" And it's interesting,
It is.
isn't it? It's interesting. And I'm sure when you were younger, working in radio,
please.
you had dreams of what you wanted to do with your life.
I was going to be the boss jock on the Mega Mother 100,000 watt flame throwing son of a bitch in radio station #1 and getting higher all the time, even on 77 WABC or 66 WNBC. But that, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Here
And
we
then
are. I
you,
do.
and then
I
you
do.
sit at,
Please.
and then you sit at Global and you kind
Why
of
do
we
you think
talk
I
about
do
this
Because
Right.
this is my
This is our
WNBC.
outlet. This is our outlet because I know that you sit there.
Ugh. Doing my-
What kind of bin do you want? Do you want it in green or blue?
Hey, valid question, by the way.
Do you want which kind of wheels? Do you want the galvanized wheels? Okay. All right. And what kind of ladder are you looking for? How many? Yeah. Okay.
It's a Warner ladder.
and
Let's
do
go
you
fiberglass, please.
And do you think in the back of your head like, what?
I hear
Because
you.
I do.
Hey, you could.
I do.
Listen, Doug, whomever, you could call 609-807-2492. You know,
Yeah.
on a roll, off a roll, a Kaiser roll, Kaiser Wilhelm, whatever. We'll be glad to speak with you. And,
It's so true, though.
Kibitz it around.
It's so true.
Yeah.
And then like all the people that we had at Global who worked, who were veterans, were vets.
oh, my
and
goodness, yes.
I was like, wow, like you were fighting and shooting people and whatever with a gun, and then you're sitting at Global going, what size ladder do you want? Like, and I know there's
We have a wide
there's
variety of
lots
pallet
of people. Pallet jack. There's lots of people in the world, I think, and they start off in their 20s or 30s, and they have these, dreams of what they want to do and what they want to be. And if those dreams don't come true or they haven't reached their goal, they settle. They settle for the paycheck. They settle for the health care. They settle for retirement, the 401k, the benefits.
Well, here's the thing. When you were, I'm going to throw an arbitrary
Go ahead.
age out there, say 23.
Yes.
And when I was 23.
Yes.
And when whomever else 23.
Yes.
Okay, assuming one went to college or whatever one did post high school, now you're completely legal. You're an adult, and now you're really, really an adult because you're over 21. Now you got a little seasoning on you, and that's fine. That's good. My son's about going to be that. He's going to turn 22 in a few weeks here. So he's right. He's right there. He's still wrapping up his school. But think about it. Think 23.
Yes.
You had it.
We have
you
a
had
call.
it in
We
your
have a call.
pocket. You were ready to roll. And speaking of roll, we do have a phone call.
Is it
Hey,
Doug Lapp?
welcome to REALTOwn. Who's on the phone?
Snappy salute.
Snappy salute,
Yo,
Doug Lapp. How are
Doug
you, sir?
Lapp.
There he is. Thanks
There
for
he
calling,
is.
brother.
Hi, Dougie.
Well, how you guys doing?
We're doing great. I miss you to face. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing okay. I feel as though I'm listening to the reincarnation of Ed and Pegeen Fitzgerald here on the radio.
On 710 WOR, the talk of New York.
Now, Tracy, I don't know if you know who they are or not. I'm sure John does.
My mother used to listen to him all the time.
John does, because John is trapped in an old man's body. So that's. I have no idea.
No, in an old man's head.
I have no idea.
No, Ed and
Just kind of
Peggy.
a little bit of a background. They were a married couple. They were on the radio. I think they were on like from 7 to 8 or something on WOR.
They were in the mornings.
back
It
in
might
the-
have been a little
Actually, I think
later,
they
but
started back
they were in the
40s
morning.
or something.
Yeah.
But they would broadcast from their apartment, and they kind of chit-chat back and forth. They'd maybe have, Broadway celebrities or maybe a local politician or author on once in a while. But the funny thing about them is that as they got older, Ed kind of started to lose it a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
And Pegeen would be talking to her guest, and they'd say something and talk back and forth, and Pegeen might say something about maybe the Waldorf Astoria, and then Ed would say, "Yeah, the restroom attendant, he always used to wear a red carnation." And then there'd be like silence for like 5 seconds. And then Pegeen would continue on with what she was saying. And then they'd go to commercial, and Ed was no longer there. They put him off to bed someplace.
I tell you what, Doug, my mother was a relentlessly, obsessively faithful back in the 70s, 60s and 70s, WOR 710, literally the talk of New York. Joan Hamburg, she had a little entertainment segment there at about 20 minutes after 8 every morning. I think the Fitzgeralds back in the late 60s, early 70s, they were on, I think, after Morning Drive. They had like a mid-morning show that they did for a while. They also had a little store, like a little general store up in Connecticut. And I can remember I was about 8, I'm going to say, give or take, 7 or 8 years old. We did a little, like a mini vacation, like 4 days up in Connecticut, Danbury, Litchfield, all those nice, I guess you could say, Western Connecticut towns that are very, very Currier and Ives New Englandish. And my mother was insistent that we have got to go by the company store that Ed and Pegeen Fitzgerald have. And I think it was outside of Litchfield, Connecticut. Sure enough, don't we roll up there? I think she was hoping to like bump into them. I don't believe they were there. But it was like this neat old store, like something out of the Waltons. You know what I mean? It really was. I mean, it had all this, and it was, the creaky wooden floors and the open wooden porch with, I think, 2 steps up onto it. And Ed and Pegeen Fitzgerald, they would just kibitz, kind of like what we do. But Ed,
Kibitz.
Ed was out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of Firesign Theater, and what the funny thing about that is, if you listen to some of those shows near the end, like late '70s, in the late '70s they were on, you'd swear you were listening to Firesign Theater because the Pegeen had this kind of lofty, kind of aristocratic voice, and a couple of guys in Firesign Theater used to be able to do a similar type of voice. Listening to this go on and on. Am I listening to Firesign Theater, or am I listening to Ed and Pegeen Fitzgerald?
Then, of course, don't forget there was Bernard Meltzer on WOR. Bernard there for a while. Bernard Meltzer was like the guy who kind of was truly the authority on darn near everything.
Bernard Meltzer?
Oh, yeah.
Bernard Meltzer, Dr. Bernard Meltzer. Hiya, Mama. So, okay, we're going to go to our next caller. It's Marjorie from Yonkers. Hello, Mama. How can I help you tonight? Seriously. And it would
You
be...
would say Mama, yeah.
Yeah. It would be...
Hello, Dr. Meltzer. I have a teenage grandson who is in crisis.
And then, they would go on and on about what the teenage grandson's issue was. My mother was so bought into that she trotted me down to Cherry Hill, New Jersey, to this guy, Dr. Leonard Crivey, who Meltzer would have on from time to time talking about troubled teens. My mother thought for the proverbial 5 minutes that I was going down a slippery slope in my, 14-year-old life. And she schlepped me down with my father one night down to this shrink down in Cherry Hill. I paid no attention to him, and I couldn't get out of there fast enough. Like, okay, so we done? I was curmudgeonly back then.
I'm sure.
Can you dig it?
Well, I wanted Doug to kind of recap a little bit about his past life in New York City, because I would love to hear a little bit. I think anyone who's listening would love to hear a little bit about it, and if you can just kind of tell us what your life was like.
Well, prior to where I am now, you mean?
Correct.
Well, yeah, I went to college for film and video production. Went to Seton Hall, which people, I guess, really don't think of as a college to go to. You think of NYU or Columbia or something like School of Visual Arts, that sort of thing.
Syracuse, yeah.
But they had at the time I was going, they had a very, very good program there. They had a 3-camera television studio, which actually with equipment that was donated, I think, from NBC or something. They had a whole bunch of film equipment, 16-millimeter cameras, sound recording equipment, that sort of thing. So got my degree, and after I got out of college, I worked at Sears Roebuck for a year because I couldn't find a job. But I ended up getting a job at an optical effects company in New York. And we did, mostly the work we did was for graphics for television commercials. And, I started out in the film library in the film cleaning room, which smelled awfully nice sometimes because of the chemical they used to clean the film. But anyway, I worked my way up to being an animation stand cameraman and shooting a lot of these graphics for commercials, which is not terribly exciting. But occasionally we would get a project in to do things for motion pictures, major motion pictures like Zelig, Altered States, Midsummer Night's Sex Comedy, Arthur. I mean, little optical effects that you don't know are there unless, you're looking for them. I was like, okay, that's what I did, that kind of thing. And I was there for about 6 years, and then the company went through a change, and I was laid off, unfortunately. And then I worked as a freelancer for a couple of years for about 3 other studios in New York. I would say the biggest, or I won't say the biggest, but I'll say that the thing that people probably would know the most was a Calcan cat food commercial that I did back in the mid '80s, where the vitamin pill gets sucked into the can. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
Yeah.
But the fellow the gentleman who owned the studio said, Doug, he was funny. I think he was Hungarian. Doug, I need this pill to go into the can. Can you do that? And I said, all right. And so he gave me like a bag of 100 empty pill casings. And what I had to do was I had to cut them down because he needed the pill to go into the can in 1 second. So that's 24 frames. So it's 24 individual little capsules getting smaller and smaller.
Wow.
And so that was probably the thing that I'm most known for, I guess, or the thing that people would have seen
Right.
the most. And then I guess it was actually, let me jump backwards for a second. When I was still in college, a very good friend of mine went to California for school, to Cal Arts, which was I believe it was a Disney-sponsored college for film and television, all that sort of stuff. And anyway, so I was going out to visit him in the summer of '76, and just prior to me going, I guess several months earlier, he said, "Hey, yeah, Doug, I got a job working on this space film." I go, "Oh, that sounds interesting." And he goes, "Yeah." He sent me a few things, and he sent me the script, and I'm reading it. I'm going, "Oh, this looks interesting." So anyway, so a few months go past, and I'm got to go out and visit him for a week. And he said, "Yeah, you can come out to the studio and maybe help me out with some shots." And I go, "Okay." So of course I walk into this very basic-looking, industrial park-type building, and I'm walking through, and I'm saying, "Oh, that's an interesting-looking helmet up on that shelving over there." And I goes, And I walk in, there's all these storyboards, a bunch of spaceships, and looks like a battle going on in space. That looks interesting. And of course, the film was Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So he said, "Yeah, you want to help me with some shots?" I said, "Okay, sure." And
Absolutely.
what I helped him with, and of course at the time I had no idea. Nobody had no idea what
Right.
this was all about.
Right.
There was rumblings amongst the nerds of the time about this, this new space opera that was coming out.
Well, it wasn't
and
until that
little
next summer that it
pictures
came
here and
out
there
and it was
that-
big.
That got out. But anyway, so I helped him with the sequence of the Battle of Yavin, which is the Death Star thing. And of course,
Yes.
I didn't know what I was shooting, and of course, then whenever it was, the following May, it came out, and it became this giant phenomenon.
Which
So,
it still is today,
It really is.
forever.
Yeah.
And to think
So
you were
I-
a part of that, that's pretty
why
amazing.
I tell my son occasionally, both my sons, I go, well, if you ever have an opportunity that looks like it might be a little bit crazy or bizarre or weird, take a closer look at it for a minute. You never know.
Right.
So anyway, so then.
Well, Gene,
Like I
this is
said,
why we're here
yeah.
at Hamilton Radio, by the way. A little bizarre, a
I'm sorry?
little weird, but we love it.
Yeah. So then, anyway, I guess in the mid to late '80s, the freelance work started to dry up, and of course, I was married by then. So I got to do something a little bit more boring that's gonna
Make money.
pay the bills. So then I got into sales, and then got into a couple of other things, and then, of course, most recently, I'm where I am now.
Right. It's pretty amazing when you think about the things that you did in your past and where it brings you to where you are. And when you're younger, you have all these dreams and aspirations of things that you want to do, things you can do. And then you kind of look back and go, well, is this it? Is this,
Yep.
I mean,
I understand.
I'm sure when you were in college, you were like, I'm going to be a big filmmaker, or I'm going to be doing visual effects for films. And the craziest thing is, like, when you were young, the way things are now, digital. Now, mind you, I went to college, in the early 90s, but everything I learned in college, because I did communications, was reel to reel. And I had to cut with a razor blade and do little scotch tape. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the film was all.
When we shot 16 millimeter film, you had the camera, and you had a either a Nagra or I'm trying to think of what the other tape recorder was, but it was actually reel-to-reel tape.
Right.
And you'd have your clapper board, and to do the whole thing, and then you get your film developed, and then they take the audio tape and transfer that onto a film, that 16 millimeter film, but it was brown, and it was actually magnetic recording tape. So you'd line everything up on what was called a synchronizing bench, and edit, like I said, whether you take your razor blade and you take your cement and you take and just it's nothing like it is now.
Oh no. Like if you were in that business, you'd have to evolve with the business. So you'd have to constantly educate yourself as to, because you could never rest on your laurels. Like, what we went to college for, the majority of it is non-existent.
Changed.
It's non-existent.
And we had the big MagnaCord reel-to-reel units that were probably about 2.5 to 3 feet wide and probably 6-7 feet high, and you had one on the top, and if you were lucky, you had one in the middle and one on the bottom. But I think we got a bunch of that military or government surplus when the radio station moved at Susquehanna University from one place to the other, and we got these again, they were called MagnaCord, magnetic recording, and even when I started in radio after college, a couple of years after I graduated, I was in sales. But hey John, can you do a voice?
Voiceover.
Maybe. So I would go back and I learned to use all that equipment there. That was Tascam.
Yeah.
TASCAM. And we had all that, but it was the same stuff, Doug. It was reel to reel, splicing blocks, splicing tape, bada beep, bada boop, done. Okay. Load it down to a cart which looks like an 8-track tape that they would put the commercials on to use in the studio.
Remember the DAT tapes? Yeah,
Remember that? Digital audio tape. Stop it. That was like...
That was advanced.
Whoa. You didn't have any hiss on it and so forth. And that's about the time when I started becoming out of the loop as to the technology. Then all of a sudden it went digital. I'm going to say like 93-ish. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm out. Because, I was close to being the production director for... Wink 104 out in Harrisburg, and the reason I didn't get it wasn't because of my talent, my acumen on reel to reel, but because they were going to go digital, and the guy who
and
got
if you didn't have the
I didn't
experience,
know it.
right?
I didn't know it. Nobody taught me, and the guy they hired, Al Peterson, good guy, who they hired, he knew it, and he could run it like a champ. So you know what, Al? Good for you. God bless. Go do good things, and he did. He did.
So my question for Doug is, so Doug, if you could right now, if someone said to you, you know what, you can do any career you want, something, you've always dreamed about, what would it be?
No pressure.
Well, I do some writing, and I have a few ideas for films. Actually, I did write a screenplay. It would be great to get that produced. It's a real simple story, nothing complicated, nothing too deep, and that's I guess what I'd like to do.
We need to get your screenplay produced.
Yep. It's a real simple story. It's in a nutshell, it is an East Coast version of American Graffiti with a younger set of cast members.
Nice.
Well, here's 3 possible words that could perhaps, Gene, you're listening, provide a solution. Iron Horse Films. Yeah, right here. A division of HamiltonRadio.net. Spiegel, Chicago 60609.
Let me tell you something. You have a dream. You have something you want to do. Just do it, Doug.
Yeah.
Do it. Get it done.
Till you're satisfied.
You know what?
Whatever it is.
And you know what? You make enough of what you do now to be able to do that stuff on the side, and maybe, you know what I mean? Because life is short. Get it done.
True enough.
That's true.
It's true enough.
That's true.
Doug, we appreciate you calling in and chiming in on that whole thing about
Thank you, Doug.
About 7 pounds. I have to see this. Tracy clearly has seen it.
Yeah.
I have not, and I do remember the promo. I do remember a bit of the trailer, and I remember thinking back then when I saw it that, wow, this looks like some kind of story.
And you've seen it. I'm assuming you've seen it, Doug, yes?
Actually, I have not.
Oh.
You know, I remember it was kind of like, you know, I remember seeing or hearing of it when it came out, and I don't know, it came and went, and I never saw it, and then until you brought it up again, I had forgotten all about it.
You definitely have to watch that film. It's just a very, very good film.
Good
Watch
stuff.
it if you can. It's good.
Good stuff. Doug, thank you again, brother. Tell your friends to REALTOWN with John and Tracy, HamiltonRadio.net. We really appreciate it, man. No doubt.
Will do.
And John will
Take care,
see you
guys.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow.
Thanks, Doug.
And there he goes. That's our good friend Doug Lapp.
Dougie Fresh. I used to, when we worked in resale together, I'd be like, Dougie Fresh, Dougie Fresh, Dougie Fresh is in the house. Dougie Fresh, Dougie Fresh, Dougie Fresh is in the house. And if you know Doug, it was funny because
Yeah.
Doug would just look at me and go, okay, crazy. I love Doug, though.
Good stuff.
There's
man.
some really, really good people over there. And that's
really
the
are.
one thing I got to say about leaving that place was the good people, not the bad people, but the good people I really miss. There is
There's
a handful of people I just really miss over
And
there.
there's a good bunch. There really
yeah,
is.
there is some good people there.
There's even a couple few who have come in since last summer who are okay.
Some
you know
newbies.
what?
Some newbies.
Yeah, a couple few that
Yeah.
they're okay. You know, I mean, but you know what, Trace? That's life. That's anywhere.
That's
you're
anywhere you go.
get,
Yeah, I mean, I work in a new place and I have some good peeps in there. You know, I
there you
mean,
have
it's how it works. Can I just tell you something funny?
Please.
And you made me think about it. So, as you know, like the Boston Marathon is coming up, and so every year, well, I shouldn't say every year. This is only the second year, so not every year. So what happened was the Boston Marathon partnered up with Saucony, which is a type of
Yes.
sneaker,
Yes.
and Dunkin' Donuts. And what they did last year is they make this sneaker, and has Dunkin' Donuts. Do you remember me going crazy about this last year?
Yeah.
Last year you do,
Yeah.
right? So it is so hard to get these sneakers. They sell out. So I guess they give a pair to all the Boston Marathon runners,
Wow.
and then they make it available to the public for a limited time.
In limited time only.
And the design is discontinued as soon as they run out. That's it. It's done. They never make them again.
Wow.
So they're not that pricey. I mean, they're like $125, which actually for a sneaker is, you know, you can get Air Jordans for like $300. So I mean, I thought that's not a bad price. So last year I tried to get these sneakers, sold out, couldn't find them. I remember I found them on eBay. They were like $900,
Nope.
$1,000. I'm
Nope.
like, no, I ain't doing that.
No.
So then this year they came out with the new design, and it's even better than last year. So the first thing I did is I go the day I go to the website. I said, I'm buying these freaking sneakers, right?
Yeah.
So I go to the website.
Line them up.
Every size is available except for 2. What do you think one of those sizes were?
Your size.
My size.
Damn
well,
it.
How? I'm like, what the hell? And my friends are on Facebook. They're like, I got the sneakers. And I'm like, bitches, I want those sneakers. I was like on a hunt. I've never been so obsessed about sneakers in my life.
A sneak hunt.
I have been obsessed. So
Not
sure
a snipe
enough,
hunt, a sneak hunt.
I go to eBay and people are bidding, and you know that annoys the shit out of me is bidding, right? Because you got to have like this special. You got to be able to tap it at the right time, and it's gonna be like, you know, you're trying to get the right price, and it's shipping or not. It's just so annoying. Yeah. So I'm trying to win these sneakers. The sneakers go up $175. Now they're already $50 past the price, and I'm thinking I'll stop at $200. Right? I'll do it because I want these sneakers more than life. Let
What
me
did
tell you
you
something.
do? What?
Well, let me tell you. So I hit the button to 200. Sorry, someone has overbid you.
Oh.
205. I'm like, you son of a bitch. Go to the next one.
Suckers.
Next one. It goes, hey. It says, bid on this. I hit 200. Sorry, you were outbid by 206. I'm like, are you kidding
Come
me?
on.
So there's only one pair left. One in my size, right? One pair. Wow. And I'm like, what the hell? So, you know, on eBay, they have this thing. You can bid on it or buy at the price they want you to buy it at.
now for $400.
So here it is. He says, here's the bid. And then it says, buy now for $200, free shipping.
Oh.
That's big because they were charging $20, $30 in shipping on the
Oh,
other
my.
ones. So you know what? I bought those bitches.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something.
Did they come in?
Not only did they come in, I wish I was wearing them right now, but
Why
I need
aren't you?
well, because I need a special occasion, and this isn't special enough. Maybe when we're in the new, I don't want those soles to walk on this carpet.
That's a little hurtful.
Because this carpet, there's been piss in here and poop in here and puke and spit and who knows what else is in this carpet,
Spitting.
living in this carpet.
Pus.
So I'm waiting. But I'll tell you something. When I tried these sneakers on, it was like a little bit of heaven. It was like heaven on the left, heaven on the right. These best sneakers I ever
Heaven
had.
during the day
Oh,
and
hey,
heaven at night.
Hey.
Tracy, I got
Oh.
a piece of advice for you.
Yes.
When you're bidding on eBay,
Yes.
wait till there's 10 seconds left and bid whatever the bid is. Bid like, if it's 200, bid like 900. You're not going to pay 900 because they cannot catch you to outbid you, so you'll get it for the price that it's listed.
Are you sure? Because I thought they make you pay the 900.
No. If you don't get out, that's just, you're only going to get the bid that you put in for.
Is that true?
I do it all the time.
Oh, okay. Because
Say
I
if
always
something-
thought it
For
was.
example, say if something is $200.
Right.
I wait till there's 10 seconds left and then I'll bid like a crazy number. They can't catch me in time, so I'll get it for 200.
Really?
You know, even yeah.
Me neither.
Pretty sneaky there, Carlo.
That's an old
Love it.
trick.
I didn't know that. I thought they would pay whatever you put in is what you have to pay. So if you put $1,000, you got to pay the $1,000.
No, because they can't catch you to outbid you, so the bid's not. You're gonna get it for what's as it's listed.
I didn't know that.
Science.
Go get your sneakers.
Well, I got
which
'em.
is-
I got them. Oh, I got those. Let me tell you, it's heaven. I kissed them when they came. I did. I kissed them. Oh, I did. This is a sneaker. I was like this.
Wait a minute.
I was like
Walking
that.
on donkeys.
Wait a minute.
Oh, no. Hey.
John, I heard she got a free gift with her sneakers.
And what would that be, Carlo?
Assless chaps.
Do you know that the sneakers came in a Dunkin' Donuts box and it looks like a dozen donuts?
They were
I swear to God.
They obviously fell off the truck.
I love them. I love them. I love
They
them.
worked for the
Donuts.
com- What kind were they?
Saucony?
Saucony.
It's like a
Oh, I know
sneaker.
that,
Yeah. I never owned Sauconys, but let me tell you something. They're the most comfortable, well-fitted, beautiful pieces of material on my feet I've ever had.
You should wear them to Coney Island. Your Saucony's a Coney.
Saucony and Coney?
Right?
There wasn't those. No, those were
OJ, would
Bruno.
you
Those were Bruno Molly's. Those were Bruno Molly's.
OJ, would you like some Dunkin' Donut?
Oh my
sneakers?
God! Now
I
you're
would
making
love
me
to.
think about my sneakers, and I'm getting really excited.
Do you sleep
I
with
love
them
them
at
so
night
much.
next to you?
I put them in a box on a pedestal.
Dunkin'
them.
sneakers.
They
Is
have,
there
like,
nothing
Oh.
they can't do?
Invisible rays.
Oh.
If anybody goes near it,
You
sets
can't
off an
touch 'em.
alarm.
Let me tell you something. I have a picture of them. I'm gonna put it up on my Facebook page because they're
Wee-hee.
beautiful. I think I put it on my Facebook.
You did.
See,
I saw it. I saw it
did.
the other day. I'm like,
Oh, but people didn't know what they were. Like people who weren't from Boston were like, "What the
I
hell
saw
is
there
that?"
were sneakers.
No, but they knew
I
what
didn't know
sneakers.
why. I didn't know
You know
why.
why? You know what they were? Because my friend, she's in Ohio. She texts me. She goes, "What the hell is that?"
Ohio,
I go, "They're
Ohio,
sneakers." She goes, "They look like Dunkin' Donuts." I go,
Yes.
"They are Dunkin' Donuts." She goes, "Well, that's stupid." I said, "No, you don't understand. You don't understand. It's not in honor of Dunkin' Donuts. It's in honor of the Boston
marathon.
But people not from Boston will not get it. They'll think I'm getting sneakers because I want to look like I want to work at Dunkin' Donuts. I don't.
Whoa! Walking on.
I don't want to work at
crawlers.
Dunkin' Donuts. That's not what it's about. But there's some beautiful sneakers. I'm just like
Croissants.
obsessed. I love
Donuts.
those sneakers. I'm gonna wear those sneakers. I'm gonna wear those sneakers when I do stand up.
Somebody tells me that somebody has a foot fetish.
Feet are. Does
never-
anybody like feet?
Women don't talk about men like you're talking about these sneakers.
I love them. I've never loved a piece. I've never loved anything like this in my life. I would marry my sneakers if I could.
Wow!
I would marry them. I'd walk down the aisle and have them next to me and say, "I'll take them both."
I do.
I mean, it would be kind of like polygamy because it would be two sneakers.
Oh, hey.
So you know what I mean? Are they a set or are they one and the same? I don't
Odd
know.
and even days. Every other day.
Individual.
You gotta.
I'm gonna wear them when I do my stand up
All right.
with Kurt. I'm gonna do it.
When is this again? Do we know?
It's coming up. I don't want you going, cause you won't think I'm funny.
What do you mean?
You won't think I'm funny. I can't perform in front of people I know, because I'll think I'm being judged, which I am. But if I don't know you, I don't give a shit. But I know you, so I don't want you to. I mean, I'll record it for you. You can't be there.
It's an upcoming Saturday, is it?
Is it? I think it is. Aren't we supposed to promote it? Kurt's show?
Yeah, well, he's
Oh,
supposed
Kurt's
to come in
coming here next week.
Next
So Kurt,
week.
okay, so Kurt will be here next week.
All right.
So yeah, so I think I'm gonna do it. I'm still a little gun shy, but I think I'm gonna do it. But I don't want people I know to
you
be
might be
there.
in luck because I may be away for a rage.
Good.
A Monmouth Rage football game.
Good.
We're
Because-
4-0, by the way.
Because women aren't funny. Because women aren't
they
funny.
Are. Sometimes they are.
But maybe, you know what? I figure if I say fuck enough, I'll be funny.
These guys know what if you do fuck a lot?
Thank you.
I mean,
Cursing is the sign of a weak comic.
Is it really? See,
Foul
I
language.
wonder about that. But
They-
says some of the best comics. So I mean, Eddie Murphy. I
Yeah,
think
you're
I love his
talking
stand
about
up.
the 80s.
I am talking about
Yeah.
the 80s. You're right.
You know, nowadays that's just the younger guys think that makes their set better, but it just shows weakness.
Is that what you think?
The more you use it, the less effective it has.
Right.
Right.
Really?
Right.
What if I talk about like not the F word, like dropping the F bomb, but what if I talk of it as like like copulation? If I'm talking about copulation, I use the F word. Is that okay?
If the bit's funny and it's an intellectual bit, that's fine. But if you're going up there going F this, F that, and bitch,
It won't work.
C-U-N-T, and
Yeah.
all that,
Yeah.
cock,
Yeah.
thing, that's not funny.
Not
anymore,
funny.
You know?
It's not funny. Not
It's
fun.
not funny. It's not fun.
Not fun.
You're going to take this back to Howard
Be
and have
me.
a big laugh.
Don't be anybody else. Be you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People know if you're genuine or not.
Because I got things to say.
Just go up on
that
stage with Jill and just make out, and that'll be a hit.
Then that'll be a big hit.
Yeah.
With your new sneakers and your set.
Oh my
See how
God.
nice? Can't wait.
My sneakers look at a laugh.
Can't
Anyway.
wait.
I know,
Well,
I'm
that's-
so excited.
let's,
Wait,
uh,
are you guys, before we go, I want to ask Carlo,
Go
are
ahead.
you excited about going to the new studio next week? How do you
Yes
feel?
and no, because we have no air conditioning. We can't use
Correct.
bathrooms.
Correct.
So they're up to speed.
Yeah.
No air conditioning.
I didn't know you knew all that.
bathrooms.
I was
Right.
about to break it to you, but I guess you already
Are
know.
you guys going to be here next week?
Yeah.
Well, I know you just like to run out and don't associate with us, but next week is our 3-year anniversary.
Oh,
And we're going to have food and
Oh,
everything. So if you
it's
want
not
to
because we
stay-
don't want to associate. It's because we're tired.
Well, that's
it.
well,
Hey,
we're
too,
just,
I
we're
got-
old and we're tired.
I got my 90-year-old dad. I gotta go up and make sure
Yeah, he
he's
is an
all
old-
right.
an old
That's-
dad. He takes
you
care
know.
of him.
just duct tape him to the radiator for a couple hours.
Yeah, put him out in the garage. We got company coming over. Why don't
Oh,
we do
wait,
it, Pop?
is Gisela Bella cooking? Because I like her cooking. Is
Well,
she going to
we're
bake?
She's going to cook some. She's going to do a lot of the baking. And we're going to have it catered by Solo Trattoria in Freehold.
You really do? Oh, shit. Well, then we got to
Wow.
stay.
All right.
Let's make plans.
Bring your sneakers.
Let's make plans. I'm
what?
making plans. I'm going to stay.
We
Big
could film-
doings
we
next
could-
week.
we could-
Listen, first.
Your sneakers, but Stephanie, I think it's-
We could film you live making love to your sneakers on the air.
All right. I'll
Nice.
bring them with me.
First-
Yeah, but if I drop any food on them, I'll be pissed.
Oh, smokes.
boy.
Careful.
So I don't know.
We'll
You know
bring
what? I'll do like they did in The Departed when Mark Wahlberg like went and shot Matt. You know, he had those little bags on his sneakers, so there was no like feet. So I'll put the little bags over the sneaker so that I don't get any stains
Do
on
it
them.
like we did to the couches years ago. Cover them in plastic.
In
Yeah.
plastic. Yeah. My grandparents had
You
that.
I'm
could
gonna
drool on them, shit on them, piss
Yeah.
on them, and they'll
That's a
still-
great idea.
Like brand new.
I don't want anybody shitting on my.
Well, listen, we
Jeez.
got big doings next week. So the Real Town with John and
Why
Tracy.
do I
We're
have?
gonna
Look what I found in my sleeve.
we're gonna have Kurt
Wait, look what I
Zimmerman.
found in my
What-
sleeve.
Oh, what are you like 90?
My grandmother used to
Oh
do
my
that.
God.
This is a bad sign.
Oh
What is
no!
it, a
A
condom?
Kleenex.
Oh, I thought it was a condom.
A Kleenex. I put it in my sleeve like my grandmother used to do that. She'd put it in her sleeve and then she'd take it out
Old
and then she'd wipe.
habits die
Oh,
hard.
no! Oh my God!
Can
I'm
I
getting
finish
old.
the promo?
Go ahead.
Next week on Real Town with John and Tracy, it's going to be big doings because we're going to have our old friend from the old Robbinsville train wreck show, Kurt Zimmerman. He's working
be on there
some
with us.
he's working on some comedy nights like we just talked about. Maybe Tracy, hopefully Tracy's going to be a part of it somehow. But it's going to be
scared.
it's going to be something. And you know what? That's all we're going to say about it right now. We're going to have you tune in next week so we can talk about it. And then right after.
Oh well, Tim's going to be there too, and I
Is
love
that
Tim.
right?
I love
okay,
Tim.
Tim Eli, the Book of Eli, the Book of Tim. Tim Eli,
The
who was
Eggman.
also part of the old program, and Kurt Zimmerman, he's going to be there.
And Lynn will probably be there,
We'll have
too.
a big old
Lynn
deal
Allman.
here. Lynn Almonds, if she shows up, she's more than welcome. And maybe be a big old
Reunion.
Reunion, y'all come kind of a deal here.
Yeah.
So that's from 5:30 to about 6.
And then Carlo's show following.
Well, you're getting ahead of me.
Okay, I'm sorry,
About,
go.
About
Shh.
5:30 to about 6:45, 7 o'clock. That's Real Town on the 17th, next Wednesday. And then it's going to be, hopefully, in the new studio, of course. And then we'll see. See you. See you at Christmas. And then, of course, Animal House, the Animal House
Animal
program.
House.
Holy crap, it's going to be big, huge, humongous.
Third anniversary.
Third anniversary.
Third anniversary.
36 months, 3 years. It's going to be huge, humongous, giant. It's going to be a big show. It's going to be a king-size show.
It's going to be fun.
It's all going to be there.
But you know what? We're all going to be sweating our balls off. So you're going to see
Those
us
of us
all
who
there. We're going to be
have them.
sweat dripping.
No,
Well, I'm going to sweat my balls off. I don't have balls, but if I had balls, they sweat off. Because it's
But
going to be
if you
hot.
did-
You know it's going to be hot. You know that day, I guarantee next Wednesday it's going to be like 85 degrees. I guarantee. I guarantee.
Mostly sunny, breezy, and unseasonably warm today. The high of 86. Thanks a lot.
So
Hey, John,
I'll talk
doesn't that disturb you when you hear a guy doing the weather? Highs in the low 70s. How can it be highs in the low 70s?
it doesn't make any sense.
I know. I don't understand what's the difference between partly cloudy or partly sunny.
61 degrees.
Yeah, but that's
61
long
degrees.
range. That's long range. It's going to change. Trust me.
High's going to be in the
It's
low
gonna change.
70s or whenever I get up.
70s.
Thank you very much, everybody.
80s.
That's it.
And we're going to bring we'll bring ice and cold stuff. We're going to bring all the cold stuff so we can stay cool. And my shoes.
And my glasses. And my
his
shoes.
glasses.
So I have them.
That's
Yes.
all of it,
All right.
man. What a real town this was. All across the board. Good
Stay
stuff.
tuned for
Thanks
Animal House.
Thanks for yes, absolutely. Be back for Animal House here shortly. Thanks to Doug Lapp for calling in. We'll see
Dougie
you
Fresh.
next time, next week. New digs. We're crossing our fingers.
Peace, y'all.
We'll catch you on Real Town.
Ow,
Peace out.
My back hurts.